college exploration for all Ohio students today. If you have questions, please use the Q&A button to type out your questions to the presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so you are muted, and your video is off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. If you are interested in signing up for more sessions, we have some wonderful sessions continuing through the first few weeks of November. So please go to www.oacac.org, and these recordings will be available to you when you go to the website, again, www.oacac.org. So I will hand this over to our wonderful representatives from Michigan State. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Iris Shen Van Buren. I hope everyone's doing okay. I have my colleague, Mike Rick, that's joining me today, and he's going to assist me in this meeting. 1 second. We've had a little bit of technical difficulties. So hang on just a sec. All right, can you hear me? Hopefully everyone can hear me. All right. I have to leave the webinar on one screen so that I'm not double echoing it. So I apologize. Okay. So anyway, I'm the manager of recruit. Would love to have you contact me if you have any questions. There will be another link at the end on my last slide that also shows my Calendly information as well. Next slide, please. All right, so Michigan State University. For those of you who have not been to Michigan State in the past, if you've never visited, we are a Big Ten institution. We are located in Lansing, Michigan. Michigan, in the state of Michigan, we kind of like to use our hands as our maps. So we are located right in the palm of the state of Michigan in the Lower Peninsula, right near the state capital, Lansing. We are a large institution, part of the Big Ten, about 50,000 students, about 39,000 undergraduate students, have over 200 different areas of study in 17 degree granting colleges. And also we have about 100 minors as well. So if you're coming to Michigan State and you are looking at a lot of different things, you will be able to find something that you might be interested in studying. As a Big Ten institution, even though we're large, we still have a decent student to faculty ratio of 16:1. And also most of our classes are under 50 students and they're taught by professors. In addition, once you do graduate, there is about a 95% job placement rate, which is actually higher than the number on our slide. And we have about 500,000 alumni worldwide. I'm going to go into the next slide, which is actually a video. And it should, Michael, if you can turn the volume off during the video, please. I'm going to actually talk over the video itself. So MSU, this is going to be some pictures of campus. So if you haven't visited, right now we aren't doing any on-campus visitations, but you can kind of get a feel for what the campus looks like with students there. MSU, in terms of those 17 degree granting colleges, we have 3 residential college options that take the big university and it kind of moves it to a smaller, more manageable size. And those are our Lyman Briggs College, which is focused on math, science, computer science, pre-med, pre-vet, pre-dental, that kind of thing. Our James Madison College, which is international social relations, public policy, and law, and our Residential College of Arts and Humanities. So students are interested in fine and performing arts, literature, languages, cultures, and civic engagement. So all of those 3 residential college options are living learning communities where you live with your fellow students, you have your professors' offices in your building and your classrooms in the building. So they can kind of take that university, large university, down to a smaller, more manageable size. We also have other living learning communities in the College of Engineering. So our core program, our College of Business, which is the residential business community. We also have the RISES program for the study of environmental studies. So as a student, you can find different places that are smaller than that large university classroom to really get into the things that you want to study. We also have 5 professional colleges, the only school in the nation with 3 medical schools, a DO program in osteopathic medicine, MD program in College of Human Medicine, and our Vet Med program. Lots of different things as a student that can hopefully make you interested in that kind of thing. If you see a Spartan, we have a lot of Spartans out of and around the country in terms of alumni. So anywhere you see a Spartan, make sure you say go green. Next slide, please. So some of our other things that make MSU of note is our Honors College. This is a really great program. I like to say it's not just the gold sticker on your forehead, but in the Honors College, you have some extra resources and extra things that will make your education even more valuable. So for example, students who come in, generally they tend to have to be in the top 5% of their graduating class, maybe with about a 32 ACT or a 1440 SAT. This year, however, and I'm going to talk about this a little later, MSU is doing a test optional, which means you do not have to have a test score to even be considered with the Honors College. And so students coming into our Honors College, if you're kind of close to that Honors College range, you know, it might not be a bad idea to just apply test optional for that. So students coming into our Honors College, they get priority registration for classes. So as a freshman, you can get a class that maybe an upper level student might want, but you get priority because you're in the Honors College. They also have more flexibility in their curriculum. So as a student coming in, Honors College don't have to take those typical integrative studies or general studies types of classes. So as an Honors College student, you can substitute a higher level class for some of those freshman, sophomore level classes, which means it's easier to do a major minor, a double major, even sometimes a triple major, and occasionally we have students doing a master's and bachelor's at the same time. So that really adds a lot of value to your education as well. Also in our Honors College, our students are able to do more in terms of academic research, and they have more access at an earlier time as well. And of course, more scholarships available for students who are invited to come to our Honors College. Next slide, please. So in terms of things outside of the classroom, MSU is known to be very good in our entrepreneurship, top 25 entrepreneurship schools. So if you want to start a business, you can certainly do that at MSU. You do not have to be a business major. So you could possibly, let's say you're a music or an art major, or you're interested in our College of Education, but you want to start something and start a job or start a business of some sort. You can go to our Hatch, which is located right across from campus. You can work with a mentor to help you with that, getting that business off the ground. They'll even let you have the opportunity to use their address as a PO box. So you're not working and starting your business out of your dorm room. And if you make a proposal and they take it, you can also get some funding for starting that business. In terms of undergraduate research as a student, you can do that, like I said, starting early in your career at MSU, sometimes even like the first week of your freshman year. You can even start that early if you are in the Honors College. But our academic research is available to students at any major, again, and if you want to do it, all you have to do is connect with the professor and do some academic research, which will really be good for building your resume for future jobs or future graduate school or something like that. In terms of education abroad, every student that's an out-of-state student comes with a presidential study abroad scholarship. It allows you to go on one program with a scholarship of either $3,000 or $5,000 based on the length of your program. The earliest you can do that is in your freshman year, right before you start the university, between senior year and freshman year. They usually have freshman seminars abroad. You can use that at that time, or you could wait until you're at your 8th semester and your last semester at MSU to do that study abroad. So we really highly encourage it. It's available on all 7 continents, including Antarctica. So So as a student, you can make that an additional value to your education. And if you'd like to get involved, we have 900 student organizations. Every fall they do participation. We have sororities, fraternities, we have the Divine Nine and multicultural organizations. If you're wanting to do leadership, we have campus and hall government. If you'd like to do sports, we have intramural and club sports, as well as Division I sports. So our students are highly active and highly involved, and we do recommend that you do get involved at a campus like Michigan State. So in terms of financing your education, we do a flat rate tuition. So MSU students pay for 15 credits. They can take 12 to 18 credits for that 15 credits, which means that if you wanted to add a minor or something like that, it's going to be a little easier to do, and you don't have to pay any extra to do that because you can take an additional 3 credits every semester if you so desire. Of course, I don't really recommend doing that necessarily freshman year, but if you do take that 15 credits a semester, and let's say it's a really tough semester, you got a lot of tough courses, maybe you take something that's a little bit more fun. Maybe you're taking let's say a 1 credit class to do yoga or golf or something like that. So again, that adds value that you don't have to pay for in addition. When you apply, your scholarships are automatically considered with your application. So you do not need to do anything extra for the majority of our scholarship applications. There are a few that do require like a little supplemental form or something like that, but the majority you don't have to do anything with. That second row there that says submit ACT and SAT for higher merit scholarship opportunity. This year, because we are test optional, that is not a requirement. If you are applying without tests, then we won't need to see that ACT or SAT. In fact, we won't see that. If you're applying with an ACT or SAT, that is where if you wanted to continue to send a higher score, you can do so until about February. We will basically be finished awarding our scholarships through March, but we do recommend that you apply by November 1st for most scholarship consideration. And we also recommend that if you have a chance, go outside of the university to look for other areas as well. So for students from Ohio specifically, we have something called the Ohio Spartan Grant. So every student from Ohio, once you are admitted, immediately after you're admitted, you automatically qualify, if you're a domestic out-of-state student, to receive a minimum of $10,000 of scholarship per year for all 4 years. So that's $40,000 over those 4 years as a student. If you have higher grades or higher grades and test scores, we will also look at you for additional scholarship amounts. So that can go higher depending on how strong of a student you are. Students, again, don't have to do anything in specific, and we do have some other specific scholarships geared just towards students from Ohio as well that are more regional. So as a student, what do you need to do to get into Michigan State? Well, first off, you want to fill out that application, but you want to make sure that you're sending in your transcripts for all of the courses that you've taken in 9th through 11th grade. So if you've attended 2 different schools, make sure you're sending us information from the schools that you've attended. We would highly encourage that students are taking an AP, IB, or honors, or dual enrolled, or College Credit Plus classes. However, we want to make sure that you're doing well in them as well. So like if you're a student that's all A's, we do encourage you to try to, push yourself a little bit with some of those higher level classes. That shows us that you have a stronger curriculum. But make sure that you're doing well. A's and B's we'd like to see. And for dual enrollment classes, they have to have a 2 or higher to even transfer over to Michigan State. So you'll definitely want to make sure you're doing well in them. In terms of supporting information, we do require an essay. There is a list of it on our website, so you can go and see what the different questions are. And make sure when you're writing that essay, you take some time to really give us a little bit more about yourself, especially if you're applying test optional this year. The essays and the supplemental information is where we're going to look for more information about you as a student. Okay, and then we also have students fill out information about extracurricular activities, but don't just give us a list. Tell us what you're doing, how you are involved. Are you doing any leadership? Are you impacting other people in your community? Those are important things as we do a holistic review of your application. We do not require letters of recommendation. Generally, we find that they're not of much extra value to your application, unless it's something that's really, really significant that we don't see on your application. But really, you don't need to worry about it. Just turn in your essay, get the rest of your application in. There's 3 ways you can apply. You can use the MSU application, the Common App, or the Coalition app. We don't care which way you want to use it. But the MSU does happen to be probably the shortest of the 3 applications, but you can use any of those 3, that's fine. So for this year, we are doing test optional. And what that means to you as a student is that if you are kind of worried, or maybe your tests didn't go quite as well because of all the stuff that's been happening due to the coronavirus and inability to get to a testing site or something like that, you can apply test optional. We can either look, when you do that, we only look at your grades, your essay, all the supplemental information, what kinds of classes you're taking senior year, all of that's going to come into play as we look at you if you're coming in test optional. If you do choose to send in an ACT or SAT score, we're not going to see your application until those have been received at MSU. So if you send in everything and you haven't taken that test, and we won't see that application at all until those test scores are received. So make sure if you decide to send those test scores that you are sending them sooner versus later. If you are an international student, we do not require SATs or ACTs this year, but you must meet the English language proficiency requirements. This year we're accepting the Duolingo English tests from international students, but otherwise just send in your regular grades and transcripts. So in terms of application dates, this is our schedule for when we look at applications. We have an early action date of November 1st. I like to tell students to think of Halloween as your deadline. You want a treat, not a trick. Apply by Halloween, and that way you've got it in before that November 1st deadline. That and all of the other admissions deadlines are what we call non-binding, which means if we accept you through early action, you are not obligated to come to Michigan State. For all of those 3 decisions, you have until May 1st to send in your deposit. However, I do recommend that if you are admitted earlier, that you do send in your deposit earlier too, just for the reason that as we get closer to that May 1st deadline, when you put in your deposit, that starts the ball rolling with other things. It's when you go and select when you're going to come for new student orientation and some other things. So definitely get it in as soon as you can. If for some reason you change your mind, you still have until May 1st to ask for that deposit back, and it is fully refundable. I have one last video to show. And Michael, will you please click on the sound to make sure the sound is going for this video? I guess we can't hear the sound. I don't know if Mike, you might have something turned off on your share screen or something that isn't allowing the sound to come through. Well, what it is talking about is this is a video of the Spartan bucket list items. As a student, as you're getting ready to go to MSU, there's a lot of things that we encourage you to do as a student. And, we like to say, home is not where you are, but it's where your heart lies. So this is our Spartan bucket list video. And this is my information here. So if any of you want to make an appointment to talk to me outside of this meeting, feel free to use my Calendly link to email me. So do we have any questions? Okay, so someone asked, for my major athletic training, what should I apply on the Common App? Actually, for Michigan State University, athletic training is at the graduate level. So a lot of students will come in as an undergraduate level as like a kinesiology major. That's exercise sciences. So apply in as a kinesiology major. That's under our College of Education. And then when you are also doing maybe like a pre-med track around that or pre-physical therapy track around that, pre-athletic training, they'll get you ready for the graduate degree. So an often asked questions by students is whether you can have cars on campus. Michigan State, generally you're not allowed to have a car on campus your freshman year. However, once you become a sophomore, you can do that as a student. We do have a lot of buses on our campus, so going around campus is really pretty simple, and it's free for our students, so it's a really nice value. And for the most part, most students will walk to campus. We also have little scooters that you can rent. Lots of students will bring bicycles or sometimes a moped. You do have to have those registered by our police, the Department of Public Safety. And then also there is a bike store. So if you don't want to bring your bicycle, you can actually rent a bicycle from MSU, and that includes the cost of repairs in case you need that. Let's see, what other questions do we have? Oh, another one come up. What are the biggest things you look at in applications? Okay, that's a good question. So in terms of things that we look at, like I said, first of all, we're going to look at your academics, your grades, and if you have sent in your test scores, we'll look at that. But if not, we're looking at your grades. We're looking at what kind of classes you've taken. Are you trying to push yourself a little bit? Like I said earlier, adding some AP or honors or IB or College Credit Plus or dual enrolled classes. Those all show that you've kind of extended yourself. What kinds of things that you've done outside of the classroom? Are you involved with different things outside of the classroom? Are you involved with the community? Are you involved with something that's related to what you're wanting to major in? What do you see as a student coming in? You can use the additional comments section of your application also to tell us more if you don't feel like you've represented yourself fully in just the regular essay. So for example, if we see that maybe your grades have dipped a little bit, maybe it has to do with stress from the coronavirus or something like that, make sure you tell us about that. Those are things that are important to us. Another question? Michael, do you have some questions that you could share with us that are commonly asked questions?
Yeah, thanks, Iris. We've been getting a lot of questions recently about how the campus is broken up into different majors, different colleges, and what kind of living learning community options there are.
Okay, well, I did talk earlier a little bit about the 3 residential colleges. So the campus itself, it's laid out in terms of living communities, in terms of neighborhoods. So there's a number of neighborhoods around our campus. In each neighborhood, we have broken down some of our resources for our students so they're closer to them. So in the East neighborhood, we have students that are in the residential business community who are students who are interested in the College of Business. It is something that you do have to apply to once you are admitted, and could possibly lead to like a direct admit into our College of Business. So it's really good if that's really what you want to focus in. They have mentors, they have folks that help you guide you through that program so that you're doing what you need to do to get onto the next level. We have our So that's on the east side of our campus. Also, we have our Holmes Hall has our Lyman Briggs College, which is the residential college for the like STEM math sciences. On the south end of campus, we do have our James Madison College, which is International Social Relations, Public Policy and Law. And then also our College of Engineering students tend to live in that part of campus. A lot of student athletes live in the south part of campus. In the north part of campus, we have our Residential College of Arts and Humanities. And then a lot of like music students will also live kind of in the north part of campus. So if you're trying to figure out where you want to live, that's kind of the way it is. We've broken down our resources in our engagement centers in each part of campus. So in the engagement centers, there are academic tutors, and for some of your lower level classes, there are academic advisors. If you're not feeling well, you don't have to go all the way to the Olin Health Center, but you can go locally in your engagement center to see somebody, to have them kind of take a look before you get too sick and have to go elsewhere. There's also activities like kickboxing and Zumba for health and that kind of thing. A lot of study spaces as well.
Thanks. We have another question from Kayla. She asks, can you talk about the pre-vet majors and programs?
Okay, so pre-vet and pre-med, like all of our like pre-professional health type things and pre-law, those kinds of things are not actually majors you graduate in. We do have a vet school, so there's opportunities. Some students will come in as vet nursing, it's formerly known as vet tech. There are students and that can help them to get into vet school later. They'll take that pre-vet track around that. We have a lot of students that come through the Lyman Briggs College and do their pre-vet classes there. We do have zoology in our College of Natural Sciences and Animal Sciences in our College of Agriculture and Natural Resources. Sometimes students will come in as a nutrition or dietetics major because people are animals too. So if you're looking at pre-vet, there are some students that do that as a pre-vet major. They will do that in conjunction with that. So typical sizes of like Lyman Briggs College and our 3 residential college, this next question, is about 30 students. And most of your classes, probably half to 3/4 will be in your building. The rest of them will be around campus. Other questions? Well, some other things to note around our campus, actually, we have the Wharton Center. So if you are a student that likes music and the arts and theater and that kind of thing, fun fact, if you get a job at the Wharton Center as an usher, you get to go into the performances for free after you've seated everybody, which is kind of cool. A couple years ago, actually, I think 2019, Hamilton came to campus, and I was very excited because I got to see it actually not once, but twice. It's my first time seeing it. Every year during Martin Luther King Day, the jazz band will do a big performance, and they'll have a big concert for our students. So if you like to do those kinds of things, you're interested in that, that is available to you. Some other cool things that we've added to campus recently, in our College of Music, we have the Billman Music Pavilion. It's a new concert facility and concerts and rehearsal facility. It basically added 40% to our College of Music. And we have the Minskoff Pavilion in our College of Business, where as a student, let's say you wanted to work on a presentation with some other classmates, you can go over to the Minskoff Pavilion. You can go in, you can use your ID card, you can swipe it and actually check out a room. So you can say, okay, well, I want to use this room from 4 to 6. I'm going to do a study group or whatever. So you can actually electronically check out a room. And I believe they have there's a Panera Bread there that they also use for our students who are looking into, doing something like business management or hospitality business, gives them some hands-on experiences there as well. Eating on campus, if you're a student who likes to eat, our food on campus is really, really great. We do have a allergen-free cafeteria now called the Thrive, and it's in our Owen Hall. And so it's free of the major 10 food allergens. So if that's a concern, you can always contact our dietitian in whatever hall you're living at. But if you want to be most certain, you go over to the Thrive. They do have the best chicken nuggets on campus that are made from locally sourced chickens from our poultry farms on campus. So really, really, really fresh. We are also known to be a pretty environmentally green school in terms of having a lot of solar panels around campus. We're very, very cognizant of doing recycling. So that is something that's really we're known for as a university as well. The RISES program for environmental sciences has their own hoop house. So you get to learn how to grow your crops and things a more environmentally conscious way as well. What is the most popular program? So some of our top popular programs are business, engineering, kinesiology. Oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank right now. Yes, business, engineering, kinesiology are some of the top programs that students are really interested in. Computer sciences is big. We have a data sciences program that students are very popular. If you like to do a video game design, it's a combination program and one of the top video design programs. So you can go either from the engineering side or more from the communication arts and more graphic side. So there's two ways to do that pathway as well. College of Education is actually one of the top in the world right now. I think we're ranked number 2 currently, and Supply Chain Management in Business is ranked number 1 in the world right now. We also have nuclear physics facility that's just being completed, our facility for rare isotope beams, as well as our superconducting cyclotron for nuclear chemistry. Other questions? So some other fun facts that we have is that we recently added a hammock park next to Shaw Hall. So students can, I believe they'll be able to check out a hammock and stay in there. And our campus is known to be actually one of the world's oldest research projects that's happening on our campus, having to do with seed preservation and whether seeds will sprout. Our Beal Botanical Garden is a teaching garden, it's an absolutely beautiful, open to the public, so you can go and walk around. They have labels on all different kinds of plants, medicinal plants, plants that are poisonous, flowering plants and that kind of stuff. Also, students will see that around campus when you're walking around, if you come for a visit, you'll notice that there are little placards on some of the trees as well, because we do have like a forestry program. 23,000 trees, I believe, on our campus are labeled. So that's why they put together the hammock park, because they didn't want students damaging the trees by putting their hammocks there. So now they have a place that they can actually do that. If you have not visited campus, we do have some really great facilities on our resources on our admissions.msu.edu website, where you can actually go and click on things, and it will tell you about our Beaumont Tower, our Spartan Stadium, and various places around campus. Then every week we also have student-led discussions, so you can actually go on the admissions website and do a virtual, student visit that way as well. So lots of places, and there's also a link there where you can kind of go on the ground level and you can walk around campus. You'll see Sparty, and in various places he'll pop up, but it can kind of give you a feel for what the campus looks like from a ground level as well. Any new questions? Michael, do you have any others?
It doesn't look like there's any new questions in. I think one of the last parts that I usually touch on, and what a lot of students have been wondering, is how MSU has been reacting to the pandemic and what it's looking like moving forward.
Okay, that's a good question. Definitely, right now we don't have a ton of students actually living on our campus. We're expected to open some of our housing facilities a little bit more. Safety is a big concern as a university. Want to make sure our students and our faculty and staff are safe. This is also why we have given a little extra assistance in letting you guys come in and letting students apply with or without an ACT score, because we realize that this has been a very stressful time for a lot of folks. Most of our classes right now are online, although they will have a few more that are going to be available that are hybrid or partially in person. Mostly those will be like lab classes that you can't really duplicate in an online environment. Of course, as a admissions counselor, I'm here and available to you as a resource if you have any questions, if you want to connect with professors and things like that, or departments on campus. I'm certainly here and able to assist you. That's what we're here for. Michael, are there any things I'm missing in regards to that?
No, I think that was a great cover of everything so far. And I just, obviously want to thank everyone for joining us today.
Yep. Let me see. I may have a few more things I can kind of show people. Okay, let's see if I can share the screen with me. So if you haven't been to our admissions website, this is the MSU admissions website. And this is where I was talking about the Experience Campus virtually. And I apologize, my computer's a little slow today. Wow, really slow. It might not be. Well, apparently it's way slower than I thought. I won't go into that website, but you can actually click on Experience Campus virtually. Oh, I don't know. I think I'm frozen here. Here, okay. Oh, good. Okay, so these are the virtual student panels that you can register for. So the student panels are there for our students. That way you can kind of talk to a student that's currently going through things at the university and have questions about different things, about concerns or what it's like to be a student on campus. This is the virtual tour I was talking about. So you can click on here to start exploring campus. I know it's going to take a minute to load up here. But the nice thing about this is that you kind of get a little bit of history and learn a little bit about, for example, our Spartan statue. This is a big thing. If you do decide to visit campus, you can kind of come here and see this. There's a little video here. It tells you a little bit about campus history. So as an incoming student, you start to get the feel for the history of the rich history on our campus of our various buildings. And this is one about our here it is, Pentecost Plaza, which is over near our baseball, softball, and soccer fields. So that's something that you can look at as well. Definitely there's a little bit of like history about some of these things around our campus. It'll show you our MSU library. And obviously we can't really walk you through that right now, but it'll give you some details about some of the things that are interesting on our campus to visit. And at least give you a little bit of MSU spirit and things like that. Pull you back here. The other thing is that if you do have questions about scholarships, you can go up here to the little more button and you can click on the scholarships button. That will take you to our merit-based scholarships, and you can take a look at our freshman scholarships. And the high achieving scholarships tend to be ones that our students are awarded through our honors college. So if you, like I said, if you're in that range, you definitely want to apply by that November 1st because you will miss out on some of those scholarship opportunities if you don't. So we do encourage you to get that in as soon as possible. Under the non-Michigan resident scholarships, what you're going to see is for our out of state scholarship, you're going to kind of see this little grid. And in that grid, this is not the grid that goes with students from Ohio, because for students from Ohio, this part of the grid will be 10,000. The 10 and 15 will actually be a little bit higher than the amounts showing.
Hi,
If-
Iris. Might be my connection, but right now we're just seeing the Zoom page. Do you think you could pull up that link one more time?
Sorry,
No worries.
might be me.
And Iris, we have 1 more minute. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry, I'm pull this up. My apologies. I'm glad you told me. Okay, so you can see this now, right? Okay, the scholarship boards. Okay, so this is the scholarship grid I'm talking about. And really quickly, because I know we're running out of time, you can click down here on Ohio and go on the Ohio Spartan grant. This lists the some of the state-specific scholarships available at in Ohio. So, and since we're almost out of time, I'm going to stop the share here. And if you guys have any questions, I definitely am here for you. Please reach me at irisSVB@msu.edu, or you can reach me via my Calendly link. And I hope to see you guys on our campus, maybe for next fall or maybe fall of 2022. If you have any questions, please feel free to get a hold of me. Thank you. Uh-oh.